What's going on, brother? So, yeah, man. So tell me your name. Tell me the name of your company, and then
When,
we'll get right into
yeah,
it.
my name's Jason. I'm with Raider
Okay.
Logistix, and I started my dispatching business, and now I'm just working my way into this part of the industry because I was a driver for 3.5 years,
Okay. Uh,
OTR.
uh,
So yeah, that's
what?
what I'm doing at the moment.
Where are you based out of? Like
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yep.
Okay. I got some. I had some trucks in North Carolina, and I had them
Yeah.
in Turnersville, and I had them in Charlotte,
Mhm.
and yeah, all in that little area over there.
Yeah, that's a nice area.
Yeah, it's solid.
It is.
But you
Yeah.
got it was a lot of it's been a lot of snow down there though. It's been a lot of the weather's been crazy, right?
Yeah, it's been a little bit snowy down there. I'm more to the
Uh-huh.
Greenville area, North Carolina.
Yep.
We haven't had
Uh,
snow. It was frosty outside, below
uh,
zero,
uh,
below 32.
okay.
So yeah.
That's cool. So we'll get into it, man. So you say you used to be a driver. So you say you drove for three and a
Yep.
half years. So tell me tell me what was life like on the road.
Uh, the regular things where you drive and you get absorbed sometimes by driving is you're on the road all the
Mhm.
time. I was driving recap for the most time, so I didn't really do my 34. I was just rolling the whole
Uh-huh.
time. And the longest I was on the road consecutive days was 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Say it,
And
say it for the people again. You was on the road consecutively for six
for six,
months.
6 months straight, not a day off. I was working through the weekend. I was working New Year's, Christmas, like all holidays I was working.
And
So
what was your logic to working 6 months straight? Why were you working 6 months straight?
why not?
Right.
You know?
Right. Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to make the money.
Hmm.
And it was I like trucking. I like sitting in the truck driving, but after a while, like it can get pretty
Uh,
tough. And after the 6 month, I think I went home for like 3 days and
uh,
went right back
uh,
at it.
uh,
But a fun fact is I looked it up. A truck is actually smaller than a prison cell.
wow.
Like they have more square feet than
Wow.
when we sit in the truck.
Uh,
That's crazy. I thought.
what was your, you say you like trucking, so what's your favorite part of trucking?
The freedom part. I think it's really nice to just travel around, see the states. Because I'm born and raised in Germany.
Okay.
So when I came to the States was end of 2019,
Uh-huh.
and I got into trucking, and it was just nice to see the United States. I mean, I wasn't too much on the West Coast, or not at all at the West Coast. I was more like the North and kind of to like
Uh-huh.
Texas around there. But I think a lot of people don't see what we see when we're on the road.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh,
that was nice.
And then, so you talk about your favorite part. What was like, especially after you driving for 6 months, what were like would you say was like your biggest challenges as being a truck driver?
Yeah, that I would say in general, just you can get lonely on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't see your family, you don't see your friends. If you're having a bad time, that's what I actually wanted to address, like mental health on the road,
Yes. Yep.
because it's overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all these things, and when you look on social media, a lot of times you see like all the fun stuff and all the great things, and but what if you're on the road and you have a loss in family?
Right.
What is when your health is not as great, or
Right.
a family member's health is not great, or anything, like your
Right.
girl breaks up or whatever, right?
Right.
You're on your own out there on the road.
Right.
Like there's no one really you can just hang out with. Everybody else, after work, you hang out with your friends. You go whatever you do.
Right.
But there, you sit at Loves, at Pilot,
Right.
right?
Right. You to yourself. You to
Yeah,
yourself. I do believe that mental health. I think it is overlooked in our industry,
yeah,
especially that's obviously for the drivers, because like you said, you by yourself. You're out there alone. So if you're going through stuff, who do you have to talk to? You can only talk on that phone with somebody for so long instead of being
Right.
somebody's presence and stuff like that. But yeah, mental health is something that's very, that's overlooked. And
Yeah.
the tough thing about our industry, man, is like it's a big deal, but it's like that truck got to keep moving for everybody to make money.
Yeah.
So,
That's the thing.
I definitely understand that drivers do go through that. They do, you're conflicted. You're like, all right, if I do go and check on this family member for quite some time, or I do go to a funeral, if I do this, then I'm not making money.
Right.
That's
Like,
probably one of the biggest things that drivers do face is that, because you're conflicted. Do
yeah.
I go check on my family? Do I spend time with my family? But with that, you're not making no money, Or do you be on that road and then you're missing out on things with your family?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you want to go home, it's either on the weekends, and then sometimes not every company lets you go home on the
Right,
weekend, every weekend. So it's like
right,
every other weekend, or you got to take your PTO.
right,
So, in other professions, you're off when you're off. You clock
right,
out.
right,
As a driver, you never
right,
clock out. If
right.
you're at the truck stop, if sometimes, we all park sometimes somewhere where we shouldn't because there's just no other space.
Yeah,
And then in the mornings, somebody wakes you up, hey, you got to move the truck. So you
right,
move the truck, right?
right, right,
Or you park on the side of the road and the trooper comes and says, hey, you got to move,
right,
right?
right.
So
Yeah, yeah. It's like the driver. It's hard for them to get 8 hours of sleep when they are trying to sleep. Get that um that break from the industry, because yeah, if you're in that truck 24/7, man, it's you either driving or you're parking in a spot, and then you're responsible for whatever happens to that truck, and
Yep.
then it's like you're constantly being bothered. I always felt like if a driver sleep, man, I feel like there should be some type of rule. We got so many regulations, but where's the regulation to where if a driver sleep, man, you can't wake him up until he's up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's things like that, because a tired driver is the worst thing you can have on the road.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
so out of all the states you've been to, what was your favorite state that you've been to? Since you're from Germany, I played basketball in France. We
Mm-hmm.
used to, we used to go to Germany, Berlin. Berlin's my favorite,
Yes.
obviously.
Nice.
But so I know a little bit about over there. But when coming to the states, and you've probably driven around almost every state. What was your favorite state to go to?
Um, that's hard. I do like North Carolina.
Okay.
I do like it. And I mean, Florida is cool because it's
Uh
Florida, but it's maybe not my most favorite state to drive in. I would say North Carolina, and I mean Texas is cool. Like I don't really have one favorite state.
uh.
I can tell you where I don't like to
Okay.
drive, and it's everything above
So what? So tell me.
everything
So
above Virginia.
So tell me the places that you don't like to drive
Ev-
in. What places that you didn't
Everything
like to
above
drive when you was a trucker?
Virginia. New
Anything but
Jersey, New
Virginia.
York, Maryland, all of that, all of those states, man. You
So
can
why do
miss
you?
with
So why
those
don't you like those northern states? So tell the people why you don't like those northern states.
because I started out with Schneider,
Okay.
and um, they get on your nerves a lot. They
Uh
really they micromanage, and so if you don't stop up there around what 4
huh.
p.m.,
Uh huh.
you don't find a parking spot.
Okay.
Like it's full,
Uh huh.
and that started during the pandemic
Mm.
actually. So it wasn't parking spots were still available. It wasn't like that crazy because a lot of people, I don't know, like maybe didn't drive or whatever, right?
Right.
But if you don't find a parking spot at around 4 o'clock, it's full. All the parking spots, all the truck stops, everything is full. So for me, it's
Right.
like I like to drive till late at night, and if I stop at 3 a.m., no chance, no
Right.
way.
Right. Right.
So that's why, and traffic, of
Uh.
course, you know, traffic sucks up there, yeah.
So you drove for so the mega company you drove for was Schneider.
Yeah, that's what I started
Did,
out with.
did you drive with any other mega companies, or it didn't? Okay. Can you hear? Okay. Can you see
Oh
me?
yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
bet,
So
you
so
bet.
you drove for Snyder. You started out with Snyder. What made you in your trucking career go to a mega company like Schneider? Why did you go to Schneider?
Because it was the easy access, and I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I came here and I was like, okay, I drive truck, and I did my CDL school, and then I was looking, and they were the first ones that, recruiters reach out to you, be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you want to drive, and they tell you all the great things and
Yeah,
all that. And I was like, all right, whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Just got with them, and I mean, the pay is pretty low, and
yeah,
the truck is pretty slow,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so. But I mean, it got me started, so I don't want to complain too much.
Uh,
And then later on, I think I did like 7 months with
uh,
them, and then I switched to a kind of local company. They're still big, but yeah, way better pay,
mm-hmm,
way more chill to drive for them.
mm-hmm.
So yeah.
What were some of the things I know a lot of people talk about these recruiters. What were some of the things they told you, and then once you finally got to drive, and you was like, man, they was lying.
Man, that one guy from Sear, England, he
Okay.
was he was like, "Hey, you want to drive for us, la di da?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. What's the pay?" He was like, "Let me not lie. I think it was 28 cents." And I was like, 28 cents? And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's split pay." I was like, "I don't know. Like that's what I don't know. Maybe I misheard, but
Uh huh.
I was like, you try to pay me 28 cents as a team driver? I, no, hell no."
Right.
It's not gonna happen, man. That was crazy. I was like, you guys are lowballing. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy. So when the recruiters so when you met these recruiters because they came to your CDL school.
Some of them, and then I just went online, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them don't post the cents per mile.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Of
call
course
and
not.
and you call and they say, okay, your phone number, your email, we're gonna reach out, and you just want to know what they pay, and they're not telling you, right?
Right.
So, and then after a while, they're like, oh yeah, we paid this and that and here and there, and you like, yeah, there's I can work at Walmart.
Right.
I don't need to be I don't need to be on the road. I can work at Walmart and be home every day.
Well, it's crazy that it's crazy that you see, when they say, well, yeah, there's not enough drivers or there's a driver shortage. I think it's probably just a pay shortage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
I think if you probably give them a good amount, people will probably stay because like those big companies, they got all the freight anyway, and it's
Yeah,
consistent for the most time.
yeah,
So it's like if you just pay me a good decent wage, I'll be with you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't think that it's a driver shortage that they try to call
Mm-mm.
it. I just think it's a pay shortage.
Yeah, yeah, for the most
Yeah,
part. Yeah.
but yeah. So then you did that, and then you went to another company. You said they were a big company, but they were more local.
Oh yeah, they had they were one of the biggest ones in North
Uh,
Carolina, so
uh,
that was good freight, home time. Not that I did go home, but I could
uh,
have went home every weekend, and like the people there were really chill. Like it's a great company,
mm,
but now it's like I kind of I do like the industry itself,
right.
but I also like driving is really nice. I have a passion for it, but I also have a passion for gardening,
Uh,
and it doesn't align.
uh,
You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's dope. So you doing the gardening? What you planning? What you planning? You planting stuff in the backyard? What you doing?
yeah, just my few food trees I
Uh,
have, and some I'm just starting out here my house plants and stuff, but
uh,
I have a little garden, want to grow my food,
hey, you
that type.
know what's crazy though? I bought a composter. I
Hmm.
bought one for our house, and it just kind of not to like waste food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
It's something about gardening that it really calms you down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really nice.
That's cool, man. Gardening is cool, man. That's I got people in my family that's big into that. But
Yeah.
I bought a composter. I'm like, man, I bought it because I just didn't want to waste, scraps and stuff. And then you can
Yeah.
use it by giving it to the people that plant, and they mix it with the soil and all that. All right,
Yeah.
that's my way I can contribute to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I gotta keep it simple, stuff like that. But okay, so you did that. So you worked with the company, and then have you ever been? So you did company driving. Have you ever been an owner operator?
No, I have not.
Okay, so what made you not want to be an owner operator? What made you not? Because a lot is, and you're a rare bird. Because a lot of people, they're company drivers, and they're like, I want to be an owner operator. So what made you not become an owner operator?
Um, well, my first plan when I came to the States wasn't really to stay here,
Uh huh.
right? I wanted to actually move to
Uh
Africa,
huh.
but it didn't play out like that. And then I was like, let me save some more money and this and that. And, and like, I'm not opposed to having my own truck, but as a company driver, it's pretty chill, right? You don't have too many um obligations to you don't pay anything
Right.
really. You drive, right? It's easy. I don't know. I thought about it, but then I just I was in just I just kept driving as a company driver for a while and said let me save up some money, and then now I want to try dispatching, figure that out so I can
Right.
be home, like I said. So for me to get a truck kind of would defeat the purpose.
Right.
But if I ever go back, I'm probably gonna start with
Yep.
leasing a truck and going from there. But for right now, this is what my goal is to
I
do.
think just talking to you and talking about how you've been driving and how you drove 6 months straight, and you've been a good driver, right? And I think all you're paying with as a company driver, you're paying with your time and your work ethic. You don't
Yeah,
have to pay for the truck. You don't have to pay for the insurance. All
yeah,
you have to do, what you have to bring to the table, is willingness to drive and willingness to do the work.
that's
And it's
yep,
a testament to you, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with not being an owner operator. Owner operator is more expenses, more things that you have to take care of, more things you have to worry about. You just came to the situation and you say, "Look, I'm doing work,"
yeah,
and that turned out pretty well for you, which is good. And I think there's both sides to the story. There's nothing wrong with being an owner operator. You just got to be able to understand the other side of the business. But there's nothing wrong with being a company driver too. I think a lot of people look at a company driver as if it's something not good, but you can make a good amount of money as a company driver, and you can have less expenses and less
yeah,
overhead.
yeah, that's true.
So that's
You,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, you don't have to pay for any repairs, and trucks do break down on the regular,
Mm-hmm.
so it can get pretty expensive.
Right.
So as a company driver, like you don't have to worry about
Right.
anything really. If your
Right.
truck breaks down, my truck broke down, and they towed it, and they actually brought me a different truck, and I just kept rolling.
Right.
Yeah, it took me the night. Like it's not that it takes them a minute to get the truck, but you're not paying the shop to repair the truck. You're not
Mm-hmm.
really having that long of a downtime, so you just keep rolling and make your money.
Right.
And if you have a company that pays you, I don't know, like 60, 70 cents, like it's not, it is for the fact that you don't have expenses, like it's not that bad,
Right.
and if you get more, great, the more cool. I wouldn't say no,
Mm-hmm.
but as long as you don't drive for someone that pays you like 35 cents,
Right.
like you can leave them after a while when you have experience and just go to someone else,
Right.
and then you're pretty good actually.
And I think, and the reason why a lot of people are company drivers and they try to go to owner operator, and you hit the head on the nail, is you didn't have much expenses. So if you don't have really a lot of expenses and you're on that road, you drive it, you just stacking up. You
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
money, stacking your money, stacking your money, stacking your money. You're not worried about X, Y, and Z. And that's why I try to tell, like, especially like, the people that's getting into this industry or younger cats, bro, just go hard.
Yeah,
Keep your expenses low.
yeah. That's like that you if you have a business, your business comes
Right.
first. Not the Hellcat,
Yeah.
the business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't go and buy you a brand new car if you have a truck that if in case it breaks down, you need to fix that truck because if you don't fix that truck, you're not
Right.
running, you're not making money, and then you got to sell that car again. So,
Right. Yeah. Leave the
you
Hellcat
know.
alone, man. People. I feel like people working for the Hellcat, and then that Hellcat gonna be, working you harder. But I think that's the reason why, like, company drivers you making really good money. Like you're getting 60, 70 cents.
Yeah.
I pay my drivers like 60, 65 cents a mile, and they make great money, and they also have low expenses. So if you combine that together, you just pocketed money. And
Yep.
then you get to see the country, you get to do what you got to do. And then say you go hard, like you said, it's for 6 months. And then maybe you want to take a break or not take a break, or just say,
Yeah.
have a plan. A lot of, company drivers and owner operators, you don't have a plan. You're just out there working, but what you going to do with this money?
Yeah.
Because even though you're stacking up this money, you're going to have the inclination to spend it. So
Yeah.
what's your plan with this money? Are you going to invest it? Are you
You
going to
have
do
to invest
this?
it, man.
Yeah, you got to invest it, man. Put that money and put your
Yeah.
money in things that's going to make you money. That's going to take care of you in the future. So when you're done trucking, you can be like, all right, cool. Now you've done it for 3.5 years, right? Now you get into
Mm-hmm.
freight dispatching. There's no wrong with somebody doing trucking for 3 to 5 years and then kind of figuring it out after that. But at least put yourself in a position to where you can make a choice.
Yep.
Don't feel like, I feel like the wrong people are in the industry that are trucking. It's because they have to. You have to truck. You need that
Yeah.
money. That's what you know. So I need it. I need it. And then you get mad if you're not getting paid 5 cents more. Like that's really going to do a difference. It's not. Just your
Yeah.
expenses are so high, and now those expenses are running you into the ground. And now you're
Yeah.
looking at trucking like you making $1 a mile. Nah, bro.
It,
You just need to
it,
bring your expenses down.
and then you have $1, and then you go up with the expenses. Now you want 120.
Exactly.
Like it's never gonna stop.
And then you're gonna be like, okay, well the trucking company not gonna give me that. So let me be an owner operator. And that's when you
Oh.
start, that's when you go down. Because
Yeah.
I feel I feel like a lot of people become owner operators at the wrong time. You thinking being an owner operator gonna save you, it's not gonna save you if you have high
Mhm.
expenses. So if you have high expenses, being an owner operator is just gonna make it worse. It's just gonna
Yeah.
make it worse. The best people that become owner operators is the people that have low expenses in life. Their
Yep.
life expenses are low, right? If
Yep.
you have that low, then you get into the game, stack up some more money, and then you can, like I said, like how we talked about it, investments. Get your
Yeah.
investments, invest in stuff. Put your stuff in vehicles where it's making you money as well. But yeah, man, you did it right, and I'm glad we having this interview because I'm gonna put this out, but people need to understand this is what you need to do, man. Keep your expenses low and just work and
Yeah.
stack up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
You gotta save money. Like this is my first apartment
right,
since I got out of the truck. Like I didn't have one. I
right.
was living in the truck. So that saved me, I don't know what, $1,000 a month. I don't know how I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah. If
people
you
pay
say
for the rent, but it's a lot.
yeah, 1,000 a month
Rents are
plus
high.
utilities, plus food, plus this, plus that. You're looking at 1,500 a month. Yeah, you that's like 18 grand a year.
Yeah.
Just and then you want a car. Don't forget, if you live, you want a car.
Yeah.
Like that's why I feel like trucking is a great situation, and you can do it long term if you want to, if your expenses are low, and you putting your money into the things that's making you money.
Hmm.
That's how you got to do trucking. And that's the thing that we're trying to educate people is like, trucking is not a bad thing. It's not a bad industry.
I love it, man.
Right. Right. It's not a bad industry. It's an industry that's really good for people that do it right.
Yeah.
You can't get rich quick in this. You can't get rich quick in the trucking industry at all.
No. And like that's what I wanted to say too. Like starting a business to get rich quick is a dumb
Right.
idea because it's not working.
Right.
It's not like it's gonna take you a minute.
Right.
So you either have savings so you can, bridge that gap, or you still have your job,
Mm-hmm.
but like just to start a business to you know s- do something real quick, and it's like, oh yeah, now I'm a business owner, now I'll make the money. It's not how it
No.
works. Because when I first looked into all of that, people are selling you dreams. They tell
You see that?
you
You see that
take
a lot on social media.
Yeah, they on YouTube and they tell you, hey, take this course, take this, and then you don't need no education to do this and that, and then
Mm-hmm.
they and what they do is they sell you are the product.
Right.
They're selling you something,
Right.
and then you think, okay, I'm gonna do that class, I'm gonna do that course, and now it's like an easy game,
Right.
and it's not like it's one part. It's like saying, oh, now I started my LLC, now my business runs. It's like no, that's like just the tip. It's just what gets you even to start doing something,
Right.
right? So. And I had that feeling too, in like before that, while I was still driving, I was doing several courses and whatnot, and it helps you, but that's not what gets you somewhere. Like you still have to do all the work, and people want to, be lazy and get a lot out of it, and it's just not what it is.
I think you saying everything right. You you saying everything that we do our podcast Freight Fridays.
Hmm.
Me, Alante, and CDL Shorty, and we say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, yes, there's people out there that was selling the dream. There was people out there telling you get courses, all this, spending all this money, and a lot of people would be upset because they weren't instant millionaires. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey man, I don't really judge nobody. If that's your hustle to sell courses, you sell it for wherever you want. 'Cause at the end of the day, that person got to buy it, right?
Yeah.
But just because you bought a course don't mean you're gonna be an instant millionaire. You still got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Still got to get that information and translate it into something to make you money.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what's missing as far as what's going on in our industry is a lot of people see it, a lot of people want to get into it, but once they get into it, they leave because they realize I got to put in work.
Yeah, it's
I got to
hard.
drive, or I got to do this, I got to do that. People don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
But you got to work, man. No matter what. I have this saying that it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna take time, no matter what you do.
Uh,
But yeah, I'm glad we having this interview, bro. I'm gonna post it and everything.
yeah, cool.
Everybody's gonna see
Cool.
it. But it's really good to have a person like yourself, your perspective, and you did it right. Everything that we've been talking about, you the person that done it right, and you understand it. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people want to just get in and just drive, and then I made $2,500 in a week. Only drove 2 days. Like, nah, you can't do that. Like that
No.
unheard of. You gotta,
Not working.
you gotta get it in. But I definitely appreciate this conversation, and it's meaningful
Yeah,
because
it's good.
people
It's good.
need to see this and understand. Like, this is how you be successful in this industry. There's nothing wrong going hard for 3 to 5 years, stack your money up, and then figure out what you want to do from there. But it's all about keeping your expenses low. If you keep your expenses low as a truck driver or owner operator,
Yeah.
you're gonna put yourself in a good situation, and that's the key. Low
Yeah.
expenses and work ethic.
Yeah, but that's not even as a business owner, just in life,
Right.
right? As I know a lot of people that they have like all these subscriptions, and then like they have their car payment and
Mm-hmm.
this and then here on credit and here and there, all that money that goes out before they even see the
Right.
money. And then they're like, man, I need to make more money. Sure, you can make more money, it's good, but keep the expenses low, and things are easy. Like I don't have many expenses. Like it's cool. I'm not worried really about it, right?
Right.
So like you said, keep the expenses low, and things are way
Right.
easier.
Right. So you did the truck driver for 3.5 years. So now you are transitioning. You got your freight dispatching. So
Yep.
what made you get into freight dispatching?
Um yeah, the one thing was I as a truck driver, you have a lot of time, like what, 9 to 11 hours a day
Right.
to be in YouTube and inform
Right.
yourself. And I looked into freight brokering, but that comes with a lot of overhead.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, let me try dispatching first
Mm-hmm.
and see how that goes, and how I like that side of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm building that. That was the main reason, because you can really start it out without a lot of overhead, but now really being in it for a minute, there are some downsides to being a dispatcher
Okay.
that you don't have as a broker. As a broker, you get the loads, and the drivers come to you more than you have to go to the drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you still have to go and sell yourself to the shippers. So that's the other side. As a broker, you have to go and call all the shippers. As a dispatcher, you have to call all the drivers. Right? You have to connect with drivers. You have to, be valuable to them,
Mm-hmm.
because from what I get, what I see, what I hear is a lot of times drivers think, oh, a dispatcher just another guy that wants a cut from my money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really the case because if I can make you profit, let's say I don't know, you book a load for 800, but I book your load for 1100,
Mm-hmm.
right? You still make profit even if I take 5% out of it or 7%. I don't know how much other people, right? It's still
Sure.
money on top of what you would have made because some people they don't like to call brokers all the time. They don't like to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
So they just like, okay, that's the rate. I'ma just take it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as a dispatcher, that's you're dedicated to negotiating. Like that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't do that, you're not a dispatcher,
Right.
right?
Right.
So a lot of times I feel that people just see it from their perspective that it's just another guy wants to get in my pockets. And
Mm.
of course, like if I don't negotiate the rate higher than you could get it, well, then I'm taking something out of your pocket. But
Right.
if I bring you profit, then you make a profit. It's like going, your truck breaks down and you go to a shop to get it fixed. You're not fixing it
Right.
yourself. You can probably, but then like how is it done? Right? So some people do it and others they don't like why would I lay under the truck?
Right.
I got a mechanic,
Right.
right? So even though the mechanic they're really charging people. That
Right.
is crazy.
Yeah.
It's not
Sick.
not the best comparison, but
Yeah.
from the concept is you get a if you want to say so a professional that negotiates for you and gets you a better price. And of course, I want to become compensated for my
Mm-hmm.
work, right? And as long as people don't, as a dispatcher, don't charge too much,
Mm-hmm.
then is a good team.
Right.
So that's how how I see it.
So what are the things? What would you say are the qualities of a good dispatcher?
Um, Communication. You
Mm-hmm.
have to communicate. You have to make sure that uh the driver can reach you
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Like if it's 3 o'clock, 3 a.m., you
Mm-hmm.
still have to be able to give me a call and I have to answer because if there's a delay, I have to communicate that with the shipper, with the broker, be like, hey, look, can we reschedule the appointment? All these things to because breakdowns happen, delays happen, everybody knows it in the industry. The
Mm-hmm.
problem comes when people don't communicate right and they don't tell the other side that hey there's a delay,
Mm-hmm.
then the problems come, and that's a big part. And then of course honesty, transparency. If you set up your agreement, there shouldn't be no hidden fees and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the work ethic, you have to work as hard as the driver.
Mm-hmm.
So if the driver is driving recap and is out there on the weekends, you have to book loads on the weekends. That's
Right.
what it is,
Right.
right? You can't be like, oh, well, I don't know. The driver lives in Georgia, and now he's somewhere in Washington. Well, I'm not working today. It's Saturday or it's
Right.
Sunday. Like, it's
Right.
not working, right? So that you got to be available. You got to work as hard as your driver, and then just keep updated with the market. When you're booking loads, you got to know what are the fuel prices in that area, and then also always keep your driver running. Like you can't send your driver somewhere and then the driver's stuck because there are no backloads.
Mm. That makes
You know,
sense. Knowing the
like
areas.
that. Yep.
Yeah, knowing those areas that you ain't gonna get a whole lot of backloads or there's gonna be cheap freight. So make sure the freight going in there is really
Yep.
good. I just did a post about freight dispatchers. People always ask me like, do we need freight dispatchers? A lot of people say we don't need freight dispatchers. I feel like freight dispatchers are needed. The good ones are. You know, just my experience with truck drivers. A lot of truck drivers just want to drive. They don't want to
Yeah.
deal with the booking of the loads and the negotiating and stuff like that. Because like once you're on your 10, 11 hour break, bro, you trying to chill. You're not trying to do nothing else. You're not trying to talk to
Yeah.
nobody.
Nah.
You don't want to get bugged by no brokers. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with just driving. So, I definitely feel like just freight dispatchers are needed, especially for the companies that have one or two trucks,
Yeah. The more trucks you have, the more like how many trucks do you have?
Oh, me? I have five.
Yeah. Like dispatching all five by yourself.
Yeah. It's
It's
tough.
possible. It's possible, but it's tough, right?
It's tough.
So,
Yep.
and some people they just want to enjoy driving, like you
Right.
said. and they don't want to. That's like on your downtime and you're in the dock waiting to get unloaded. I know I wanted to take a
Right.
nap. I wanted to eat or do a quick workout or be on the phone with my girl or whatnot,
Right.
right? I didn't want to like I never had to because I was a company driver,
Right.
but I wouldn't want to scroll through the low board and negotiate with brokers and call them and all that hassle. So
Right. No, no, like I said, that I feel like that's why I feel like freight dispatchers are needed. The good ones are. I
yeah,
feel like the freight dispatchers, that are actively looking, that are actively working as much as the drivers working, that's good. We need those, especially like I said, those truck companies that have a couple or even more,
yep,
because it's not easy dispatching, especially if you are working off the below board for the time being or whatever. That's great. Even if you had a major contact, you still need a dispatcher because, like you said, things happen.
yep,
You know, things happen, and drivers are, you just want to drive.
yeah,
Communication is not the strong point of a driver. Their strong point is driving and getting it done.
yep,
But they don't want to communicate and get the rundown of everything that happened. Hey man, they want to talk to the dispatcher real quick and that's it.
yep,
I definitely see the reason for freight dispatchers. It's just another cog in our system. It's another, person that, it's a career if you're really good at it. You
yep,
can make a lot of money, but it's all about being communication needs to be great, trustworthy, and not lazy. Here we go talking
yeah,
about this same phrase, work ethic.
yeah,
It's anything in this industry or anything in life, you got to have the work ethic. So if you have the work ethic, you're gonna do well.
yeah.
Uh, so how long have you had your freight dispatching business?
It's about a month.
Okay.
So I'm really fresh starting
Okay.
out, and I dispatched box truck and stuff, but it's hard to really get clients.
So
The hard
are you
part,
what are you doing to get clients?
I call at the moment. I do a lot of cold
Okay.
calling, but usually you get the mailbox. Like I know usually when someone calls me is
Yeah,
it's a call. You don't know the number, you don't pick up, whatever. So that's tough. But gotta go to truck stops, talk to drivers, be
that's what I was
present.
gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. You should do that.
Yeah, yeah. And social media, even though I'm not really a social media
Right.
person, but for that business purpose, I have to be. So, I'm gonna upload more videos and just throw some knowledge out and try to connect,
Yeah.
right? Make some connections because otherwise you don't get no clients. And you also have to see like you also want some good clients because I worked with this one driver and he just did not communicate at all. Like, what's your ETA? Well, it's 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's noon, and then I call him at 11. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be there at 2. I was like, you should call me and let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Like not giving PTAs. What time you starting in the morning? And
Mm-hmm.
then you don't never get an answer back. So it's like you kind of wasting both of our times.
So
So
you talk to so that's a negative, and I think with this conversation when people watch it, I always tell people you need to know both sides. So obviously the positive, if you got good enough drivers, you're gonna make good enough money. So tell me what's other than that. Tell me some other downsides of being a freight dispatcher.
it's hard to retain your clients. Like even if you are a good dispatcher, it's a lot of competition out there, and there's a lot of big brokerages out there that do offer all,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if and they do, you can sign like you can sign up with those brokerages and they give you loads and they also have somewhat of in-house dispatchers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's tough. And then working with new authorities is really hard
Mm-hmm.
because nobody really wants to work with a new authority.
Right.
So it's hard to book loads for them. It's hard to, yeah, just get good loads and, you know, send them somewhere knowing that wherever they go, there's a broker that wants to work with them.
Right.
Because, yeah, you get a load from here, from A to B, and then at point B, at delivery, in that area is nobody that wants to work with a new authority. Now they're
Mm-hmm.
stuck, right? And that's hard working with new authorities. And then all the authorities, they, from my experience, like a lot of people already have a dispatcher, or they dispatch themselves, or they, you know, work with a big brokerage company. So it's hard, it's tough to get clients, get good drivers, and then, keeping them, even if you do a good job, people still just, do what's best for them.
Mm,
So if something doesn't fit, sometimes they just like hop off. And something really annoying to me is when people come and they say, "Hey, I want to sign up with you," and then you never hear back from
mm.
them. It's like, why you
Why
come to me
you even?
asking me for my services, and then and I tell you, and I ask you like, "Hey, let's get on a call tomorrow," and they say, "Okay, call me at 2 p.m." and you call them and they don't pick up. So you call back later and it's like, "Oh, I don't want your services." You came to me. You asked me, and now
Right,
you're mad at me. You just say no like in the beginning. It's okay. You can say no.
right.
Right? So that's something that is annoying. But that's the sales part, right? You have to sell. You have to be out there and call people and all that. So it's
Mm,
challenging, but nothing is easy, right?
right. Not the good stuff. When you talked about the new carriers. I know the reason why these brokers or shippers don't work with new carriers. But for the people out there, and then for the people that see this video later, give us some education on why new authorities have problems getting freight on the road.
Because they don't have reputation yet.
Mm,
There's a lot people think, or brokers think, oh, they're gonna, I don't know, steal the load or not deliver on time, any complications, and of course you don't want that. And then I could think like insurance, right?
mm,
Insurance always plays a big role.
yeah.
Like as a new authority, your insurance is high.
Mm,
You work with a new authority, you insure like the insurance. Some some insurance companies, as far as I know, they don't really want to let you as a broker let you work with new
mm,
authorities because of that.
mm,
It's like it's it's just it's all about money, really.
right.
Like they don't trust you yet. They don't know if you're a good driver, you're gonna deliver on time or whatnot. So that's why they're cautious not working with you.
Mm.
So yeah.
What are the, as far as the new authority? What can they do to get around that? How do they build up their reputation, or and then also how does a freight dispatcher help them build their reputation?
Yeah. Um, One thing is you're starting out, like you said, keep your budget low because the loads will not pay as
Mm,
good as if you work with an authority that's like 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, right?
okay.
So you might not always get the perfect
Mm,
load with the highest rate
right.
because you first have to build up a reputation.
Right.
So that's one. And just be a little bit more patient looking for loads, and it just takes time like everything else.
Right. No, you definitely right. You definitely right. You know, having your own authority. A lot of people think you get your new authority and you're gonna jump in
Yeah.
and make all the money. But just like you said, the most important thing for new authorities, I would say the first 6 months is just building your reputation with as many brokers as you can.
Yep.
Right. So even people talk about TQL. If you can get with a TQL, or if you get with any type of broker, you just hey man, I'm willing to take it for this because I want to build a relationship, and that's where a freight dispatcher
Yep.
comes in, right? You can talk that talk and be like, look, he's a good guy. We just want to build our thing. If this is what you want to do, we'll do it with no haggling. We just want to build and be able to have that in the system. So when we call again, you see that we completed load and we did the most important thing, which was deliver it. Uh,
Right.
but that's huge. I think that you can get into this industry, but the biggest thing is you got to have patience.
Yeah.
You're not going to make money right away, crazy money. You know,
Crazy money. Yeah.
unless you have a new authority, but then you let it cook and then you lease on to somebody else, but you're still not building your authority. You're just making money, but you're not getting the reputation for
Right.
your company. A lot of people get that mixed up. Okay, I'll just lease on and let my authority cook for 6 months, and then I'll get back on my authority and work on my authority. Well, your authority is still the same because
Yeah.
you didn't build your reputation.
Yeah,
You were
that's
you were leased on.
yeah, because there's a difference between when they say, "Oh, you gotta have your authority for 6 months or 30 days or whatnot," to that's okay. They're gonna look at you
Right,
more, you know, right? They consider you a little bit more, but it's still you still have to, with that broker, build a good relationship because then, you know, when I represent you and I speak with the broker, they're gonna send you loads,
right,
right? So it's you really want to get off the load board.
right,
You don't want to be on the load board always. You want to be able to call someone and, you know, check in with them. Hey, you got loads today,
right.
right? So that's what you want to do. But that takes time. You have to drive and show them that, you know, your truck is not a mess and it's not breaking down, you know, every other week.
Yeah.
So that those things, because you see trucks out there, I don't know, they look crazy. They look crazy. Some of these trucks.
It's funny about we talk about trucks because um, I had a buddy and when I have my company and then I had this big contract, so I would let like some of my buddies lease on their trucks or
Hmm.
whatever. And then so he got in an accident, and then he was like, "Well, I ain't gonna drive with no bumper." I was like, "What you mean?" I said, "You gotta drive with a bumper." He was like, "Nah, I don't." He said, "I just gotta make sure I got headlights working and a windshield that's not cracked, and I'm good."
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
true,
like,
right?
and I didn't even know that because this is when I was starting out. I was like, "There's no." And then he was like, "Look, I got DOT inspection." I passed. I said,
You don't.
and I said, I
It's not.
said, "Wait, you don't need to have a bumper?"
No, it's not what they call it. Safety relevant.
Yeah.
It's not safety relevant, but
I was like,
it
what?
looks crazy
It
though.
looks
If
crazy,
you
but
pull up to a
don't
shipper and
stop you.
all your stuff is missing, you know.
It don't stop you. And he got that little delivery on top. He's like, I told you, I don't need no bumper. The bumper. He said, because he was like, some people, you get in an accident or you missing a bumper. Some people be like, I'm not going nowhere. This dude was like, nah, we going. Nah, he said,
Yeah,
I know the regulation. I need to make sure my headlights is working, not cracked, damaged,
yeah.
all that. My windshield is not cracked. That mug is cool. He said they don't care about the bumper.
No,
I was like,
they
I don't
don't.
believe you. He's like, it's crazy that like later on that day, he got a DOT inspection. They was like, yeah, you good, pass. I said what? But yeah, there's some, I think also too, there's trucks out there looking crazy. Just like we talk about the mechanics, man. The mechanics, it's expensive to fix these trucks.
Yeah, it is.
It's expensive. So some people are taking a gamble. Some people are just, going, and I feel like that. I feel like all these regulations we got, I feel like the mechanic pricing should be regulated because it's too high. That's one of the factors that's kind of killing this industry. Just, I love the mechanics. We need the mechanics. We're never going to say they're not needed, but
Yeah,
I think they're abusing that power by knowing how much they're needed, so they're just charging you whatever because they know you're going to pay.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, man, there's some trucks out there looking crazy, man, because like they just don't have the money to pay for it, so they just like we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep making this
yeah.
money until we can find a deal somewhere, or eBay gonna send us the part, or we'll figure it out ourselves.
Something, yeah.
Yeah,
And with those shops is the thing is, okay, they have expenses, right? But they're not paying the workers as well.
right,
Like they're not, you don't make a lot of money
right,
working on the truck.
right,
It's the company.
right.
So when you see those prices, you're like, damn. And then it's like, how much do you get paid? And you know, it's not that much. It's like everywhere, like the business makes the
Yeah,
money. But they have expenses, so it's not like they, you know, they just stack all of that money,
right.
but still it's crazy. You see those prices and then you know what the worker gets.
Yeah. So that's crazy though. But yeah, the mechanics, man. There's just a lot of things in our industry that could be better to make it better.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, man. And then so freight dispatcher. So what, how do you? Well, you already said the communication and stuff like that. What else do you want to talk about as far as the freight dispatching? Like how can how can you be better at getting more clients? How can what else do you want to talk about as far as freight dispatching?
It's just getting out there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, educating myself, talking to other dispatchers, just, you know, communicating. and then just keep on doing my thing, keep calling people, being out there, talking to drivers. And for me, it's like I'm way better at talking to people than being on the phone.
Hmm.
Like, like this pitch thing, like it's not my favorite to do,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna go out there way more, talk to drivers, hand out a few things like that, just being present. And I think I know that when I was as a company driver, that one dispatcher he was a driver too
Yeah.
before, and then the one wasn't. And it's way easier to talk to someone that knows what's going
Hmm.
on and that was in the truck than to someone that doesn't know, and you know they don't know the terms. It's just like it's just more fun talking to someone that was in the business.
Right.
So from that standpoint, um, you you don't have to tell me about the HOS,
Right.
right? I know. Just let me know what's your 11, what's your 14, what's your 70, and we good to
Hmm.
go, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, so I don't have to learn too much. Or I mean, you can always learn, but I already know what I have to look out, what I have to look for, right, and what I have to consider. So just it's really just being out there and connecting with people so they see, I can bring them value, and I'm not just here to take something out of their pocket. Because that's the main concern. Like I said, people think just another guy that wants my money.
Right.
And as with any business, you have to bring value to your client, if not your liability, you know.
That's true. I think with you being a driver, I think you have a supreme advantage over other dispatchers. I would definitely say going to truck stops, talking to drivers, being in front of them, then you're able to, see,
Yep.
and they'll be able to see that you understand what they're going through. Even you knowing the terms and everything, that's good, but you knowing what they go through on that road, I feel
Yeah.
like that's going to give you a supreme advantage. And you actually been in their shoes and doing what they doing. I do know what this industry wants. Drivers do stick well with drivers when they
Yeah.
want with people that they like. You know, truckers are very enclosed people, but once they open up and they got the right person, they trust them. Then
Yeah.
then that's what it is. And I think you have a supreme advantage at that. I think you got some brokers that used to be truck drivers.
Yeah.
The reason why they're good brokers is because they used to be truck drivers, so they understand what it is. I've talked to a lot of them that, some brokers had like 10, 20 trucks, so they understand what it's like to have five. So I definitely say that gives you a huge advantage. Just getting in front of them.
Yeah.
I don't.
Building trust,
Yeah, I don't like
right?
talking on the phone that much either. I'm not a phone guy. I like to be in front of people or talking to them like this. That's
Yeah.
way better. But like you said, if somebody's calling on the phone, it's just you already have that stigma, so you have to get over that.
And
You know?
also there's a lot of scams going on. If you're
Yeah.
on Facebook, in these groups, there's
Hmm.
just so much scamming going on.
Right.
So if you get a call, it's like the first thing you think,
Right.
scam,
Right.
right? So there's no trust. So talking to people face to face or like a video chat like that builds trust, and then you can really really talk to them where they listen,
Yeah.
because otherwise you could also talk to a wall,
Right.
because in the beginning they're already like, oh no, I don't want
Yep.
it, so whatever you say, they're already closed
They
off.
want it.
It's over already, right? But
Right.
if you stand there and they see, hey, this is a real person, this is a real guy, he was in the truck, he drove for 3.5 years, like they're open to listen, and you can really just talk to them and get to know them. Like, hey, what do you do? And where do you haul?
Right.
What's your area you want to haul in? You
Right.
know, all these things, like getting some information how you can tailor your solution to them,
Right.
right? So that's
No,
important.
it's super important. It's super important. But I think, like I said, you have a huge advantage. I think just keep on plowing on that. Keep, you know, like you said, it's just like owning a trucking company, man, or being an owner operator, man. It's a lot of competition.
Yeah,
So you gotta do things to set yourself apart, but you probably already beat 60 to 70% of the competition just by being a former truck driver. So really honing in on that's great. That's
yeah,
that's great. So Oh yeah, I want to ask you because you came from Germany.
Yep.
So what did you? So what? So you did truck driving in Germany too?
Oh no,
No.
no.
Oh,
They don't have it. They do have, but like you have to see that Germany fits, I think, twice
uh,
into Texas.
yeah.
So it's small, right?
Right.
So a lot of things are being transported on the railroads.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. Trucks is it's not like here. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just see trucks everywhere. And in
Yeah.
Germany, it's not really a profession people. It's like you kind of slip into it if you know someone, but it's not something where people think like, oh yeah, like I want to be a truck driver.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not really a
So
thing.
what made you want to be a truck driver?
Um, it was a good way to come over here and just, make good money right off the jump. I just had to get my driver's license,
Mm-hmm.
and just start. And like I said, I was able to see the States. So I thought that was cool. And I didn't want to have like people looking over my shoulder. I wanted the freedom of kind of scheduling my day how I want. Like if I make my appointment on time, I don't have to get up at that certain I can get up whenever I want. As long as I make the appointment on
Right.
time, nobody's gonna get on my
Right.
nerves.
Right.
Well, it turned out to be that, I get up and deliver as soon as possible. So it wasn't like at first I thought, oh, I'm gonna just hang out a little bit, and then it was like, no, like I want to get that money.
Yeah. Get,
So,
get it done. Why wait?
yeah,
Get it done.
yeah, I started out thinking like, oh, I'm gonna just drive truck and look around a little bit and enjoy the scenery. And then all of a sudden I was like driving like crazy, just
Like,
on the road all the
trying to
time.
get that check, get that money, man.
Yeah.
Load ain't delivered, nobody get paid.
Yeah, but one thing is the lifestyle
Yeah.
itself is one of the most unhealthiest lifestyles.
Yeah. So tell us. So let's talk about that. The trucker lifestyle.
Yeah,
What we talked a little bit about mentally. How is it physically? As
is I mean, it's hard because the food that you're
mm,
getting, sure
mm,
you can go to Walmart, right?
mm,
So what I personally did, I went to Walmart and got me a little rice cooker
mm,
and I cooked all my food in there. Like I made stews, I made
mm,
whatever I made
mm,
it in there. So I have at least, somewhat healthy food from Walmart,
yeah.
right? But I see a lot of guys eating the truck stop food, and it's horrible for the body. Like it makes you sick, and not just physically, but also mentally.
Yeah.
Like you're not as fit. Like it drains you. And I was talking to the one driver, and he was, I don't know, like maybe in his 50s, and he was like, man, this is my, I think, second heart attack, and my doctor told me that I should take one aspirin a day to keep my blood flowing. I was like, that's to me, that sounds horrible. If I got to take one aspirin a day to
Mm,
keep, my blood thin, like you have to do something like change your diet, or I don't know, like I used to work out in the truck. I used
right.
to do my pull-ups on the bunk and do my push-ups and whatnot, right? And did that. But one thing you can't do is be out in nature because I'm not gonna take a walk at the truck stop and smell all that nastiness out there.
Right.
Like that's not gonna happen, right? So you don't get a lot of sunlight. If you don't really make it a challenge to eat right, you're not gonna eat right.
Mm,
And then you don't you can open up your windows, you get some fresh air, right? But you're not out there, you're not being active really, especially if you're driving or reefer, right?
mm,
Flatbed, you tarp your stuff, you have a little bit of movement in your day.
right.
But I was sometimes, if I didn't work out, I I did sometimes I was outside for what, 5 minutes, walking to the shipper, being in the shipper, coming out back in the truck till the next time I get
That's
out.
it.
Like you
That's
don't
it.
even you don't that's it, you don't even get out.
Right.
Right? So it's really important to eat right and don't drink all those sodas and all that stuff just to stay healthy. But it's so available and that's the only things that they sell. And it is because you get bored driving and then you want a snack. You want to
Mm,
drink something, you want some sugar, you want some this, and then you
yeah.
just eat. right? So it's an unhealthy lifestyle, and then like I said, you don't move, so your joints are getting all old and all that, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's it. Having it's all about choices.
yeah,
It's all about choices. It's all about what choices you making on that road. You know, I have some guys that eat out all the time. And I have some guys that cook. You know,
yeah,
and I know the guys that cook are a little healthier than the guys that eat out all the time.
yeah,
But yeah, we've CDO Shorty. He had a heart replacement. You know, he had a heart transplant. One of my other drivers, he had a heart attack.
yeah,
So it's very common.
yeah. It's a
It's
common thing.
it's
Yep.
a common thing in the trucking industry. But at the end of the day, it's a choice of that person. You know, just don't eat the food there. You got to be a little more productive and going to the store and getting food
Yeah,
from there, making stuff from there. Um, walking, right? You may have drove for 10 hours. You know, there's no wrong get out that truck and getting a 30-minute walk in.
yeah,
You know, these are just choices you have to make. I understand you're tired and stuff like that. You know, it's just like, people working. You know, I know
yeah.
people that are in construction
That's
and they
tough.
go for they do lifting and working out after they did 10 hours of construction. So it's
Right.
really just a choice. It's a choice. Just because it's there doesn't mean you eat it. But I know it could be tempting. But if you care about yourself and care about your family because you're supporting for your family,
Yeah,
then that's why you need these types of things. You need to have the choices you make. You need to have that conscience in your mind, like I'm taking these choices to protect myself and my family. But yes, it's very it's very scary. You walk into those truck stops, man, and they got everything that's not good for you. There's nothing in there that's good for you.
no.
Not even
Usually
not even the water.
not even no, no, nothing. Like I like there was one brand, one chip brand that I was able to eat because it didn't have like all that weird stuff in there, right? It
Yeah,
was one from everything else that was in there. There was
right.
like one, maybe two items that I looked at and I was like, that's okay
Yeah,
to eat.
yeah.
But everything else is straight
You
trash.
know what? It's crazy we talk about because you from Germany, so you already know the snacks and everything is way healthier out there than it
Yeah,
is
he
here.
is horrible in the States.
you
It's
know, like
horrible.
I remember when I lived in Europe, man, I'd be like, man, where are all these flavors coming from? And then you look at the back, it's only like 3 or 4 ingredients. You like, wait, what? This?
Yeah.
But then you compare it to some chips out here, you like,
The ingredients list is that long.
man.
It's crazy. It's like
But the,
what you have to Google what it is because you
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, and that's one of the biggest things I noticed by living in Europe, man. Like they have strict, like they don't play around with that food. They don't play around with that food, man. They making
Yeah.
sure that you got the best stuff. Ain't no stuff in there that can cause cancer and all that, but yeah, we go back to our point. The truck stops, man, is just they're not. I don't understand it. They're not doing the truck driver a service, and then what they do is not even like it's cheap.
Right.
They charge them. They're taxing as well. So it's like you're
Yeah.
killing their health, and if you can't even say like, oh well, it's not that good for them, but at least it's cheap. They can afford it. It's still like double, triple the price if you then go into Walmart.
Yeah. Right.
You're like, what's? I don't understand what's the goal of some of these truck stops because you're giving people food that can kill them, but then you're taxing them as well. You're just taking.
Yeah. I guess it's money. I don't know. They because I knew. Well, I that's how I felt. Sometimes if it wasn't a truck stop, I didn't want to get out of the truck.
All right,
I didn't want to park at Walmart and go off route and park there and get out and do all of those things. I didn't feel
right,
like it. So the only time that was like a period like couple of like a month or so where I just didn't want to get out of the truck. I was like, Walmart, this trucks up, fuel up, take a shower, and
right,
that's it.
right,
Right? I don't want to go nowhere else.
right.
Sometimes you feel like that. And that's another thing, a lie. Hot and clean shower. That shower ain't clean. I know I see you guys cleaning it. It's not clean. That's the biggest lie of these truck stops. Hot and clean shower. It's It's not.
Hey, trucking is not for the weak, man.
It
That,
is
that
not.
that's what we talk about the like you said, people glorify trucking and stuff like that, but they don't understand. It could be a good career, but these are some hurdles and things that you're gonna have to go through. And yeah, those showers are not clean.
No, they're
You
not.
know, cleaning it yourself, unless you got the bleach and you scrubbing it yourself. But you know, it's it's not an easy life to live, but like you said, you came in over here and your goal was to make money, and trucking can be used as a stepping stone if you do it
Hmm.
the right way. Keep your expenses low, have a strong work ethic, and then have a plan. Hey, I'm gonna work 3 to 5 years. I'm gonna stack up this money, and then I'll just go from there and see what I want to do. But
Yep.
I think you're definitely a good example of what truckers should do because you're doing it. And now you're getting into freight dispatching, and that's going to be successful for you as well because you achieved success in trucking. But it's just good to it's good to have this conversation, man. I'm glad
It
we
is. Yep.
I'm glad we did. I'm gonna post this everywhere and make sure I help you get some clients and stuff like that. But before we get off here, because I gotta get off here, tell everybody your name again, your company, how they can contact you, all of that, and then we go from there.
All right. My name's Jason. My company is Raider Logistics, and you can reach me on the service at freightradardispatch.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm based in North Carolina, so I am here in the United States, not outside like a lot of dispatch
Right,
companies, right? So
right,
I am in the
right.
States, and I've been on the road for 3.5 years. So whatever you're going through, I probably had a similar experience, right? So yeah, and I'm here to help you get some profit, you know, and just team up. Like I want to be a team with the driver that I'm dispatching, right? It's it gotta work in a team, otherwise it doesn't work. So yeah. And
Cool.
if you want to reach out, you find me here on Instagram as well at Freight Raider Logistics. So just shoot me a message, or and we can connect.
Well, I'm gonna tag you. I'm gonna do some videos and tag you in them
Yep.
as well. Get you some more exposure. But it's good. It's good talking to you. My main goal of this, I have a little series called Driven Discussions, is to just put a spotlight on people in our industry that need it, and spotlighting truckers and everybody like that, and just giving you guys a platform and just talking it out, and then you're also telling your side of the story and telling your experience. We can all learn from everybody's experience because everybody's experience is different.
Yep.
So that's my goal when I do these lives with different truckers and dispatchers. Is just to have these conversations because everybody can learn from everybody. I think that's what's missing in our industry.
Yep.
Nobody's learning. No, everybody's just looking for the entertainment, but nobody's learning. So that's my goal is. I'm glad we had this chat, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna do some videos and stuff and tag you in them. Just get you some exposure. So be ready, man. It's gonna come to you.
All
Just
right.
keep
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for logging in, man. And then we'll stay in touch. Man, I know I'll be on the lives and stuff, but I appreciate
All
this
right.
conversation, man. Taking our time. Be blessed, man. Keep
All
doing your
right.
thing. Don't quit. The success is coming, bro.
It
Just keep putting in the work.
is.
It's,
It is. And everybody listening, I hope if you're driving, stay safe on the road. If you're not driving and you want to get into driving, start out. It's not a, don't be ashamed to work for a company that doesn't pay so good. Is to get the foot in the
right.
door, get driving, do your 3, 4 month, and then switch to a company that pays better. Stay safe on the road, and for all the dispatchers, do your best. Help your be an asset to your drivers. Don't be a liability,
Yep.
and then everything's gonna work out.
There you go. All right, brother. You have a good night. I appreciate
All
you. I'm
right,
gonna chop this stuff up and then I'll put you on though. But I appreciate the combo. All
all right, man. Thank you.
right, brother. Have a good
Be
night.
safe.
You too.